NewsNation Chief Washington anchor Leland Vittert, host of On Balance, with us right now. You've been reporting on this, working on this since it began on Saturday. Thank you for all your work, watching your emails throughout the weekend. But let's start with this new report from the Wall Street Journal. Not the only one to report this, not the only one to speculate, not the only one to bring this proof, but they're saying that Iranian security officials gave the green light for this attack during a meeting in Beirut, and that Iran's forces have been working with Hamas, planning this fight since August. When just a day ago, Secretary of State Antony Blinken said there's no evidence yet to a direct link to Iran. How can he say that in light of so much evidence, the artillery alone pointing to the fact that Hamas didn't act solely alone on this one?
Well, politicians say an awful lot of things. It doesn't necessarily make them true. It sort of defies logic and credulity to believe that Iran was not involved in this, that one of their proxies would launch a massive and unprecedented attack, and they wouldn't know about it. The Wall Street Journal adds a lot of detail to that about this meeting in Beirut now exactly 2 weeks ago, in which Iran gave the green light, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard that controls Iran's military proxies around the world. The timing on this is key, and it's why the White House is so loath to name and shame Iran here, because it was a little bit more than 2 weeks ago that the ink was finally sealed and dry on the U.S.-Iran deal to bring those 5 Americans home and give Iran $6 billion. So the White House is really feeling the heat on this. They're really feeling the heat about their policies towards Iran. They're willing to re-engage with Iran. They're really feeling the heat about one of their envoys to Iran, now suspended, a guy named Robert Malley, because of his behavior and accusations that come very, very close to spying, and certainly allegations that Malley was operating much more in Iranian interest than in American interest. So I don't think it's any surprise right now that the White House isn't having a briefing today. The president isn't talking. On and on and on.
Yeah. To compound off the point that you just brought up about all those funds being unfrozen, the Biden administration, they had criticism while it was happening. They're certainly getting criticism right now in the wake of this war that is ongoing in Israel. And Iran got a lot out of that deal. They got the $6 billion. They got 5 of their own guys. But this weekend, the White House saying it'll only be used and was only used for humanitarian purposes. Leland, are people actually buying that? And does that distinction matter?
Well, it is a distinction. There's also something that's a distinction without a difference, because, if I give you $1,000, well, now you have 1,000 of your own dollars to go spend on other things, and you can spend my $1,000 on humanitarian aid and food and medicine and everything else. So any money that goes into the coffers of Iran goes to fund terror in one way or the other, if it replaces other dollars or if it goes directly to fund terror. The really sad part about this, when we talk about this involving Iran, is that the people of Iran are still living in terrible economic conditions because of their government's choices. And for that matter, we're going to watch the destruction of Gaza by the Israeli military. And the people of Gaza live under the thumb of Hamas, which is an organization that cares only about perpetrating war and not a lick about its own people, giving them food, medicine, economic opportunities, and the like. And we're going to watch the bombing of Gaza, and we're going to watch a lot of reporting that the people of Gaza have nowhere to go. Well, they're not going to be allowed into Israel for obvious reasons, considering what just happened. But there's a large border between Gaza and Egypt that has been sealed for a long time. The Egyptians have bombed the tunnels that went between them and closed the border. So there's a lot of people, through no fault of their own, who are living under the thumb of some really awful people, and that would be led by the Ayatollah, the Iranians themselves, and then Hamas taking control and doing what it's done to the Gaza Strip.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.